Hello, my name is Eliana Nakwitz, and today I will be talking to you about one of my favorite authors, Jane Austen. Jane Austen was an English romantic novelist, though she never did marry herself. Jane Austen was born December 16th in 1775 in Steventon, Hampshire, New England, over a month late. She was born with the Georgian elegance was at its height. Her father was the rector of an Anglican parish at Steventon and Dean. Her father's name was George Austen. His family was an old and very respectable lineage. The family fortune had slowly disappeared over the years, leaving his family in poverty. Her mother's name was Cassandra Lee. She was from a very rich and prominent family. It is supposed they met while he was at college. 2 months after her father died, they married at St. Swithin's Church in Bath. They lived on a small income per annum. They named their first child James, who was born in 1765. Their second son was born in 1766. They named him George after his father. When they had moved to Steventon, they found he was developmentally disabled. His mother decided to have him fostered outside of their home. There, their child was born, and he was named Edward. He later gave the use of his cottage to his sister Jane in the last years of her life. He was also the High Sheriff of Kent in 1801. In 1773, Cassandra was born. She was Jane's favorite and only sister. Cassandra was followed by Francis in 1774. He became an admiral in the British Navy. Their home was a friendly and calm, inviting place. They were often visited by their aunt on her father's side, and their cousin Eliza, who lived in high society, even taking her eldest sister Cassandra to town. They opened the doors for Jane's imagination. It is also believed that Eliza was inspiration for a number of Jane's books, such as Mansfield Park. She was 14 years older than her cousin Jane. She later on married Jane's older brother. In the year 1783, Jane and her sister were sent to Oxford to be educated by a Miss Anne Crawley. And when she moved to Southampton, they went with her, but were later sent home in the autumn due to them catching typhus, where Jane nearly died. From there on, Jane was home educated, and then sent to boarding school with her sister. Early in 1785, they returned home before December 1786, because the family could no longer afford to send the girls. After this, Jane never lived anywhere else outside her family circle. She was also raised with the boys, reading many of their books. Her whole family loved at home theatricals, including their Friends, held in the Rectory barn. These plays included Richard Sheridan's The Rival in 1775 and David Garrick's Bon Ton. At the age of 11, Jane would write stories and poems for her family. Some of these were later compiled, which are now called the Juvenile. At the age of 12, she wrote 3 short plays. Among the Juvenile, a satirical novel called Love and Friendship. All through the years, she mocked popular novels of sensibility. Among them are such books as Oliver Goldsmith's The Vicar of Wakefield and Henry Brooks' The Fool of Quality. When Austen had a reputation of being a fine dancer, about this time she met, presumably at a ball, Tom Lefroy, a neighbor who visited in December 1795 to January 1796. He was moving to London to train as a barrister. In her letters to her sister, it was apparent that she and Lefroy spent a good deal of time together. In one letter she said, "I am almost afraid to tell you how my Irish friend and I have behaved. Imagine to yourself everything most profligate and shocking in the way of dancing and sitting together." But sadly, nothing came of this romance. He was sent away to be with his family, as marriage was impractical. Neither of them had any money, and he was dependent on an uncle in Ireland. He went on to become Councillor of Ireland and Lord Chief Justice of Ireland. He is also thought to be the model for a certain Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. Jane never seen him again. She also never married. Sense and Sensibility was the first novel she published. It was done anonymously, followed by Pride and Prejudice. She had the books published through her brother. She did it anonymously till found out. Around 1816, Jane was feeling unwell. She began to decline. They listed her sickness as Addison's disease, but it has also been described as Hodgkin's lymphoma. She had a relapse resulting from the shocking news of reading her uncle's will. She continued writing even during her illness, but had to leave it off 12 chapters in. She died in Winchester on July 1887 at the age of 41. She is buried in Winchester Cathedral. On her tomb is written, "Extraordinary endowments of her mind." Since that time, books have been written, made into multiple movies, audios. More people have used the magic of her books to create their own books. It is considered one of the best books ever written, but I think her own words sum it up the best. But for my own part, if a book is well written, I will always find it short. Northanger Abbey. The places that I will cite for this as my speech was Jane Austen's book, written 1775 to 1817, Pride and Prejudice, published by Aurora Editions, 2016. Wikipedia, Jane a Day, a 5-year journal, published by Potter Style, 2012. Thank you so much.